If you're still typing plain prompts into ChatGPT and just hoping for magic, you're using about 20% of what it can actually do. And you're probably spending way more time on your work than you really need to. So in this guide, I'm gonna walk you through 9 features that I use to get pretty much all of my work done in about 2 hours a day. No gimmicks, just real tools that save me real time. So the way I started using ChatGPT was just like a better Google. But one of the most powerful features that I completely ignored when I first started using it was custom GPTs. Now, these are versions of ChatGPT that you can train to accomplish specific tasks. It's kind of like building your own team of specialists. So think about the task you do over and over again. Writing, reports, summarizing emails, testing code, everything like that, right? You can use your own custom GPT to handle all those tasks. For example, if you have a lot of content that you need to post on multiple different platforms, you can create a GPT called Content Repurposer. That's just going to take one big piece of content, right? And then it's going to turn it into a blog post, tweets, LinkedIn posts, newsletters, things like that, right? So in your chat, all you would just do is type @ and then Content Repurposer after you made the GPT. Then you would tell it to repurpose this blog into 5 tweets and a LinkedIn post. Once you set up your GPT, it's that simple. In seconds, the tone, formatting, structure are all exactly how you need it. You don't have to rewrite, you don't have to edit, just copy, paste, and move on. So if you're using ChatGPT for everything, but you're really not training it, you're doing a lot more work than you really need to. Now, one of the most underrated features is ChatGPT's memory. It's simple, but it can be a total game changer. So instead of re-explaining who you are and how you like things done every single chat, just take advantage of ChatGPT's built-in memory. So when you turn the memory on, you can tell it things like what your role is, the kind of projects you're working on, how you like your responses formatted, what tone or style you use. For example, I told mine I'm a QA engineer working on a mobile app. I told it I like things formatted in bullet points and I want simple, straightforward, as blunt as possible answers, right? So now I don't have to type out super long prompts in every single chat. I just give it a basic command like check this feedback or write a test case for this scenario, and it knows exactly what I mean. It has the context already. It really feels like you have a personal assistant who just doesn't forget anything you told it. Now, you know that feeling when somebody sends you like a 10-page PDF to review or a massive like Excel spreadsheet file or something like that? Reading through all that data can take your whole afternoon, on top of meetings and all the other work that you have to get done. But with the file uploads in ChatGPT, that headache is pretty much gone. Just drop the file into the chat, ask the question, and it gives you exactly what you need. And just last week, I had to read through a bug report with just walls of information, communication from a bunch of different people that I have to filter through and make sense of. Now, I could sit down, read through it, take my time, and go through it all, right? But instead, I just uploaded it and I asked, what are the biggest regression risks based on the changes in this report? ChatGPT skimmed through the whole thing and gave me bullet points in less than a minute. I didn't have to dig through it, scroll through it, scan it. I just asked the question and ChatGPT got it done and I moved on, right? ChatGPT is really good at handling the boring, repetitive parts that you really don't need to do, but you have to do. Now, sometimes you're not just reading through the file. You have to dig into the data and really analyze it. And that's where advanced data analysis comes in. This feature can actually write and run code, crunch numbers, and even generate charts based on what you upload. So recently, the app I was working on was lagging, right? And I was given a really big CSV full of server performance logs. Now, it was hundreds of lines. I could have opened it in Excel and filtered through it like the old days. But instead, I just upload the file and I typed one single prompt, which was find all the server requests over 500 milliseconds and make a chart showing how often it happens over time. Now, a few seconds later, I had a clean chart, simple explanation. I sent it to the dev team and we were able to spot the problem and fix it before it got worse. So if you got big spreadsheets, complex data, or even just a bunch of numbers that you really don't want to deal with, just upload the file and let ChatGPT deal with it. Now, sometimes you need the most up-to-date info, okay? Whether that be something from last week or the last few hours. That's where real-time browsing comes in. Now, older versions of ChatGPT couldn't access anything past their own training data, but now with browsing turned on, it can search live internet and pull current info. So a few days ago, I was trying to decide between two different software tools. So instead of using the regular Google route to look for reviews, so I asked ChatGPT to check Reddit threads, look up comparisons, reviews, everything like that, and pull together all the pros and cons. It came back with a clear breakdown, including stuff like pricing changes, feature updates from just a few days ago. I didn't waste any of my time digging. I just got what I needed to make a quick decision, and it really helps. It cuts down so much time. So now typing isn't always the best way to think for a lot of people. So sometimes you want to talk through your problems or talk through an idea, just get the thoughts out your head and hear it, right? So now with voice mode with ChatGPT, you can do that. So I remember like one morning I was stuck working on a workflow issue or something like that. And I just go for a walk. I pull out my phone and start talking through my ideas, right? I didn't have a plan. I just wanted to get my ideas out of my head. So when I was done, ChatGPT took that ramble and turned it into a clean outline with actionable steps, right? It would have taken me, 30 minutes to try and organize all those thoughts to try and make sense of it. But just because I could speak freely and ChatGPT could organize it, I figured it out faster and just let ChatGPT do the rest. Now, if you get your best ideas while walking, driving, pacing around, something like that, this one's definitely going to be a game changer for you. Now, once you created a few custom GPTs, switching through them can be a pain sometimes, but that's where the @ command comes in and helps out. It lets you call any of your custom GPTs in the middle of a conversation without having to switch chats. So if you have more than one GPT that you use frequently doing different jobs, this one will really help you out. Now, let's be real, because privacy is a big thing with ChatGPT, right? And if you're training that GPT and training these models, you should definitely know what ChatGPT is remembering about the information you're putting in. So with granular privacy controls, you see exactly what ChatGPT has stored. You can delete anything you want or turn off memory entirely for certain conversations. So there's a full dashboard where you can manage it all. So for example, if I'm working on something sensitive, like private feedback or anything I really don't want to leak, if it ever happened, all right, I'll just disable memory for that chat. Once I'm done, there's no record of it, nothing saved. So you get all the benefits of helpful assistant without having any issues with your privacy or personal data being stored. Now, this one ties it all together, right? So with tools like Zapier, Make, or even simple webhooks, you can connect ChatGPT to apps that you already use, like Gmail, Slack, Notion, Jira, and plenty more. So for example, you can set up a flow where every time someone submits feedback on a website, right, the message gets sent to ChatGPT, it analyzes and summarizes the issue, and then it creates a Jira ticket and assigns it to the right team. So if you do it right, you won't even see it happening. It'll just work in the background. Whether you're working or not, it's collecting info, processing the data, and moving things forward. So this is more than just saving time. You're literally deleting all these repeatable tasks that take up so much time in your life. So here's the shift. You go from doing every little small task yourself to building a system that takes care of it for you. That's the real power of these features, right? It's not just saving time. That's big, right? But it's creating more space to think, build, or honestly just take a break. So what's one annoying task that you would just love to hand off to ChatGPT if you could? Drop it in the comments. I love to hear it. And if you found any of these useful, hit like and subscribe. And this is how you build your 2-hour workday, one feature at a time.